tree, the Grand California. Look how gorgeous that is. Stunning. And it's not just that one, there's several other trees in here. Beautiful garlands, wreaths. As usual, they did a spectacular job of decorating the hotel. And you remember that the first day when Tracy said that the gingerbread house wasn't done yet, she was right. Now it's done. I think. That is awesome. Wow. So as usual, Tracy was right, I was wrong. Just don't tell her I said that. And here's the backside, which I wonder if there's more coming here, if this is just the backside. But there's more here than there was before, so I'm guessing they probably haven't finished. Guessing they probably haven't finished this side either yet. And so comes to this. After a wonderful week, we are leaving Disneyland for the last time. Not forever, but probably for a couple years. We'll see. You're laughing because our kid just took over the curb, aren't you? Yeah. You know. And he's down again.
The guy probably hurt himself too.
Sorry. Shouldn't be laughing at this, but it was they just stepped right on our moment. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the videos. We're not quite done with the trip yet. We've got dinner at Catal, and then after Catal we'll go back to our room to pack and that, and we should get some fireworks. We should finish off the night, finish off our trip with fireworks from our room. That's going to be a pretty good way to finish it off. So, as we leave, the happiest place on earth, we are the saddest people on the planet. No. But it's always weird leaving here. Let's go. So here we are at Catal for our final meal of the trip. And our appetizers just arrived. We got a couple of salads. So, you probably noticed that the video from Catal ended rather abruptly. It wasn't a camera problem, it was a dinner problem. So another tough one. So I showed you the salads that we ate. Tracy probably had eaten 10% of her overly generous beet salad, like absurdly large beet salad, and our entrees showed up. I hadn't finished anywhere close to finish my wedge salad either. So the good was that she enjoyed the beet salad, although it was way bigger than. I mean, that could be an entree for 3 people, let alone an appetizer salad. It was enormous. And my wedge salad was actually quite good. The bacon on it, which they just said it was a maple glazed bacon, maybe the best bacon I've ever had in my life. And you know, I've had some bacon. It was amazing. So, so here's an interesting query again. Well, I'll get to that at the end. I'll answer that question at the end. It's another question about tipping. Because it wasn't our server's fault. The server did her job. She put the food in, you know, and she put our orders in, but she actually took our salad or appetizer meal order first. And I ordered a glass of wine to go with it. It was a lovely Albarino from Rias Baiches. And it was only $10 a glass, so it was actually quite a nice, a good price too. But the wine menu was awful. But it was only awful because I didn't have the whole wine menu. They had one of those, you know, QR codes with the wine menu on it, and it had like 8 or 9 pretty average wines. The Albarinos were the only thing I was even remotely interested in. But I was going to ask if they had a regular wine menu because we've had great wine there in the past. They used to have an amazing wine menu. And so I was going to drink the Albarino with my salad and then order a glass or bottle of red to go with my entree, which I had ordered a skirt steak with a romesco and chimichurri, and it sounded pretty good. They only had they don't have a huge menu. They had about 5 options for entrees. They all actually sounded pretty good, but I thought I'd try something different and go for the skirt steak. And Tracy ordered a nice chicken dish. I probably would have had the chicken except that Tracy had it. We thought we'd I'd have some of hers, she'd have some of mine. But the skirt steak was uncuttable. It was, I know skirt steak can be a tougher cut, of course. So I've made skirt steak and hanger steak and flank steak, and those could all be tougher cuts, but you still cut them. This was like a big hunk of fat. And even what I could cut and eat was awful. It was a horrible dish. It was over-seasoned, and if you guys know me, ever eaten with me, I'm not likely going to complain about something being under or over-salted. I am not I love salt. I will salt things that most people think are already salted enough because I like how the salt brings out the flavor in things. And it was awful. And of course, nowadays the fancy plating, they had put the steak on top of the broccolini, which was supposed to come with it. And the broccolini, of course, was way over salted too because the juices of the steak had all run over it. So it was a terrible dish. So our waitress came out, and she couldn't believe that the food had already come out. And the waitress was great. She was sweet and efficient, and she did what she could do. But actually, she actually had to call the manager over because I'm not a restaurant complainer unless the food is just horrific. This is one of the worst steaks I've ever had. And so we also had ordered a side of mac and cheese, so that was perfectly good. And Tracy's chicken was good. So the whole meal wasn't a total disaster, but my steak was just horrifically bad. And of course, even worse was the part that it came out so fast, we didn't get time to finish our salads. So I didn't have a chance to order any more wine. So, they cost themselves a wine purchase. I never even had a chance to ask about the wine menu until after the meal. I did just because I was pretty sure they had a full wine menu. And then she said absolutely they do. They just haven't reprinted them yet. So there's still some COVID things going on. They still haven't got everything up and running. But this was the worst meal I've ever had at Catal. And we've probably eaten there a dozen times, and 11 of these meals have been great. And this one was pretty awful. So the question I had for you guys is, what do you tip now? So you really had a lousy meal. It wasn't the server's fault. So I ended up tipping about 22%, I think it was, because I think that, it's not her fault. But having said that, I wouldn't be surprised if tips are shared, and the kitchen might get some of that too. I don't know how that works here, but the kitchen guys completely screwed this meal. They ruined it by bringing the food out so quickly, and also that dish was just terrible. And even Tracy's beet salad, which she liked the taste of, but it's a horrible dish. It was an ugly dish, and it was like big, huge hunks of beets. That's not a dish that should be on a nice restaurant's menu. And Catal is not, the French Laundry or anything, but it is a nice restaurant on downtown Disney. It's better than that. My wedge salad was very good, no complaints there. And the macaroni and cheese was fine, nothing special, but it was good. So yeah, and so we didn't have dessert or anything, and they didn't charge me for the steak, of course, which is obviously what they should do since I didn't eat any of it. So then we left, but let me know again in the comments if you guys have a terrible meal, but it's not the server's fault. Do you tip what you normally would tip? If the food's just lousy and the server does whatever she can do. The server's not cooking it, but she didn't make that dish, and she didn't have the food come out so quickly and everything. So I'd be interested to hear what you guys would do if you have a lousy meal, but the server did what she could do. So that was it. That was our meal at Catal. That was our last meal here. We are now done. Tracy's in there packing up. I had already packed one of the suitcases with all of our dirty clothes, and she's repacking it because she hates the way I pack, and whatever, she's probably right. She's a better packer than me. I'll give her credit for that. So we had a real good day in the park today. We got a lot of pictures taken with our photo pass. So we had a few rides. We went on the Big Thunder Mountain, the wildest ride in the wilderness for the 3rd time. That was the only ride we went on 3 times this trip. And we just said goodbye to our favorite place. This has been a really good trip. It hasn't been quite as perfect as they often are. I mentioned in earlier videos, there's been some hiccups. But still, for the most part, a wonderful trip which we really enjoyed. And we're looking forward. The trip home is always the saddest part of a Disney trip. It's usually nice to get home, right? Whenever you're away on vacation. We are not looking forward to tomorrow because tomorrow we expect to be a travel day from hell. Our shuttle, it starts early. Our shuttle's picking us up at 5 a.m. for a flight out of SNA for 7. So we're hoping that the flight goes smoothly at least, and we get into our car, and we shouldn't have too much trouble getting across the border, I don't think. But then once we're across the border, we don't really know how to get home. I do know we can get home through Highway 7. I just don't really know where that is, because I've never driven that highway before. So it could very well be a very long day. But we've been pretty darn lucky this trip with just about everything. Obviously, the timing of the trip, we've missed the whole flood. It's not over yet, of course, and tomorrow's going to be, maybe we're going to pay for the whole thing tomorrow, but we've missed the whole thing. It's been pretty remarkable. Once we get home to Chilliwack, there's going to be some more rain next week apparently, and there could be some more flooding, and that's bad. But we're not on the floodplain, so we're not. Our home is not in danger. And if it rains and floods more and gets worse, so that'd be awful. But won't directly affect us once we get home. The key, of course, is we have to get home tomorrow. So that's the plan. So we have one more thing we're going to do tonight. Let's watch the fireworks from where I'm sitting right now on our patio. I already showed you guys those fireworks, so I'm probably just going to sign off for now. And thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the videos, and I am looking forward to getting back to my regular scheduled programming of wine. And don't forget, drink great wine, everybody. And thanks again for watching. Take care.